got ourselves the boys with Chet Morton. Oh my goodness, that's a name I haven't seen in a while. Chet is back though, boys. We got ourselves Gurns. Ready to put these boys in the urns. We got Kragma, gonna go with a big cheesy resolve trinket. Ner'zhul, oh, I like that mog. I like the fist weapons. In the Cataclysm set, I love the way that the eyes look. I really like what they did for the Cataclysm set. I'm not a big fan of the color schemes, but it fits. And Rang, also ready to ring the bell. Hooray for Rang. With Stony, XO gonna be over on the team too. We got us Samuel in the back. We got DJ Flex chilling. We got Deathsteel ready to go with Seavark leading the charge, going full Scuba Steve. And it looks like Stony is going to be up first versus Ner'zhul. He's going to have to go for big damage, unleashing everything he got for a Fury Warrior Zerker Agent out of the Thunder quickly, but it's going to be a stun by Ner'zhul, just trying to see if he can peel away this warrior away from himself for a while. While the cooldowns are roaring, the flames are blazing, the banners flying, and Stoney's cooldowns do go down. Does get a Blaze Storm with a Torment King's Legendary, getting access to the Recklessness for a little bit longer. Ner'zhul seeing the cooldowns, it's going to pop a wall, trying to play a little bit defensively. Going to be a quick chain harvest to harvest Stony for all his health. Stony's going to pop defenses as his dip's kind of low. Quick disarmament to Ner'zhul, trying to reduce the amount of Maelstrom the Shaman can generate, but also trying not to get hit by all those big fist weapons, trying to get sliced up. Normally it'd be like a Storm Strike, which I imagine is like done with hammers, literally clubbering somebody. But here he got them blades in the back, so it's really going for like that slice, like a Mantis Blade kind of look. Stony is able to maintain himself for a while though. Ner'zhul got plenty of self-healing, but Stony as a warrior without being really a self-healer class is actually doing quite okay. So for now, does seem kind of low enough for the Kevin's, oh, not Kevin's slime, but a Malara slime to cover himself for a little bit. Both Ner'zhul and Stony finding himself kind of low though. Gonna be in Stony and actually critical condition. Big Shade Harvest by the Shaman does end up taking him out, as I was hoping the warrior would maybe find some recovery, but looks like he couldn't quite find it. I don't know if the warrior is also playing, we don't really know if he's playing like a charge challenge or impending victory. Maybe everything was on cooldown, but the man just ended up rotting down out of cooldowns on a quick chain harvest as he dips really low. The ghost wolves come in. And there's always going to use the static totem in order to try to see if he can separate Deathsteel away from him. Does trap the pet, but does avoid the death. They're going to be the pet's attack, and there's all at once. And the Cold Shadows comes out with the Abomination Limb sprouting on a Deathsteel and taking Ner'zhul back down to his grave. How many times have Ner'zhul, like the actual character, died? Because Ner'zhul was like an orc, and then he became the Lich King armor, and then we killed him again in Shadowlands. I mean, this man is just seeing death left and right. Literally, just going into the realm of Shadowlands, into the realm of death, isn't even enough to like let him rest. You know, he does get a break. Deathsteel going up versus Rang. That's going to be back-to-back kill shots coming through by the Hunter. Big grenades to fall. Deathsteel is going to have to look for a little bit of recovery. IBF trying to see if he can live this. AMS. Actually, no, it's going to be Spell Ward and proccing, throwing magic damage, freezing trap to spot in place for a second. At least you're moving all the bleeds and the dots for a second. Deathsteel, it's kind of low. That's of Lichborn to try to give himself some death quills here and there. AMS comes out of the clutch moment. Doesn't have a lot of health to work with, but has a pretty good shield against magic damage. Still physical damage goes through, and Rang does end up swiping him out. With Seavark pushing in, trying to go for a little bit of that Khalif gameplay with Barrage's poly onto Rang with an over right after. And trying to see if we can get some damage up and running. Gonna be a touch of death. Touch of magic onto Rang with a big Arcane Sphere. Get a Rang real low. Actually, does he play the Execute Legendary? He might actually just have him here with the Execute Legendary either way. Gonna be Rang super low. Does he get blasted? Oh my goodness! These boys are not even standing a chance. Everybody coming at one another. A popping cooldowns and absolutely obliterating each other. Oh my goodness, boys. With Chad gonna be up next. Hit with a poly, Arcane Sphere ready to go. Rune of Power waiting for him. Is it going to be a big burst? Chet could be in big trouble. Going to be arcane missiles right after. Chet is going to actually be okay after the touch of the magic. It looks like Seavark can stop him to stand still, and maybe it was a bit of lag. That might have been a little bit of lag. Unforge does go for the ultimate time with Viz and food. He actually got himself a complete reset versus Chet. Chet found himself about half his health. No dampening just yet. Immediate trinket out of that polymer. Stun onto Seavark. Has blinks in order to be able to get out of that CC. Polymer to follow as he's playing the resolve trinket. Chet actually ramping up a little bit more and more damage towards Seavark. And it's going to be continued to slam down those final verdicts from at least 10 yards away. As Seaverick is looking to maybe wait for some cooldowns, it's going to give him some big cooldown recovery with shifted power. Arcane power is back up. Does he potentially have himself a big one-shot for Chet Morton? Last time Seaverick tried to one-shot a Paladin, he wasn't just trying, it was actually very, very successful. Ball into Chet, touch the magic in and set up. It's up going to potentially big damage. If Chet doesn't react fast enough, he could be in big trouble. It's going to be massive damage out of that Arcane Sphere. As Seaverick just trying to see if he can max out the damage. Touch the magic does get built up with those arcane blasts. And Seaverick catching that stun with a quick ice block, trying to see if he can recover a little bit of his own health. All the time, he's expecting big damage out of Chet. I think Chet is hanging out by the all the time with Seaverick. He knows that Seaverick is going to all the time back there. But Seaverick is going to be able to get a blink back. Got himself a bit of a shield. Trying to keep some damage rolling versus Chet as best as he can. But it's going to be a quick, it looks like massive invis by Seaverick just to avoid him, just to get away from him. Dude, a skilled Arcane Mage I feel like can survive almost forever. Can almost always run away from a fight. Has escaped to the invises. He has himself the ultimate time in order to recover and regain a lot of that health loss any moment. Big Arcane Sphere with missiles to follow. Trying to see if he can build up for damage. Chet is going to have a pretty big hit from the touch of the magic. Going to be Seaverick trying to see if he can finish off Chet right now. Ultra time's back up, so he's actually should be plenty healthy. Got himself temporal in case his health does dip low. That's going to be a quick blink. I think Ultra time is eventually going to bring it back to where he was. Or maybe cancel it. Might have actually canceled it. Is going to go for yet another reset with the poly. It looks like Seaverick is fishing for some kind of proc, for some kind of damage. He keeps through polymorphic Paladin for a big Arcane Sphere, maybe continue to get some big damage versus Chet right after. Going to be touching the magic, doing a bit of damage. Ultra time is up for Seaverick. Chet, unless he has himself big burst cooldowns to blast him, Seaverick while Ultra time is up, I don't think he was going to be able to do much here at the moment. Going to be a quick blink by Seaverick as he gets altered back to his spot. Is going to try to continue raining down missiles onto Chet. Does have an interrupt in case he needs to. Chet, I think, could go for the big Necrowar Fleshcraft. He doesn't really want to do it just yet. Flashlights are coming through. Again, Seaverick can push it in. It stops Chet from casting. Is without Seaverick having to interrupt it. Actually, not a terrible idea. As Chet getting lower and lower health little by little, he got to make sure that he's actually perfectly healthy and okay. Above 30% health at the very least. Yet another Arcane Sphere with big cooldowns available. Could be big over to Chet. Does it crit though? Big damage on the Chet. Is it going to be the blaster that he needs it? It's going to be Shield of Vengeance trying to see if it can avoid a lot of that touch of the magic damage. Is able to absorb a lot of it into that Shield of Vengeance at 14% dampener. Stun onto Seaverick. Still has a lot of cooldowns rolling in. It's going to be a big burst on a Chet. Seaverick trying to give himself as much defense as possible. It's going to be an invis defensive for 60% damage reduction together with the images, and it's going to give himself that shifted power. Again, just trying to recover cooldown. So far, the back and forth between the Paladin and the Mage has just been going back and forth. These two juggernauts are just not giving each other an opportunity to really win the game, with Chet going for a lot of recovery. Seaverick having to go for a bunch of resets and having to set up with birds. That's going to be a polymorph for the opportunity for Chet to continue staying healthy, staying playable every single go. Another touch of the magic with an Arcane Sphere. Is that going to be the big crit that he needs? Looks like Chet decided to trinket out of this one. Might have been the trinket that he will have to. But you might just have to regret that one later. Because now you don't have any kind of way to break CC. It looks like he's not really going behind the pillar. I think he's just waiting for Seaverick to come back to the ultimate time. He knows Seaverick's tricks. If he chases after him, he knows the ultimate time is going to happen. Try to see if he might be able to belve the temporal off of Seaverick. Could be in trouble. Doesn't have a blink by the looks of it. Looks like a second ice block is back up though. Playing that Night Fate does give you a crazy cooldown reduction. Chat trying not to get interrupted. Does he have Flash Cut back up? Shooting power is back up for Seaverick. Has his low into Chet. There's no way the Paladin can interrupt that shooting power. The best he can do, maybe his bubble, pop off, have a big go. Maybe Seaverick could have himself a big go of his own. Gonna be massive damage on the Chet. Actually, huge crits. Wait to shut down for the count. That execute. Oh, Chet just didn't realize the barrage mid-air. It's already gone. It's already mid-air. The best you can do is maybe bubble. But this man thought, you know what? Maybe I'll live. Maybe I'll be fine. He was like, you know what? I just got behind the pillar. I have plenty of health. Looks like I'm okay. Barrage already got sent. Once you send it, it's like a homing missile. And you're below 30% health. And that's what you're doing Seaverick's cooldowns. And you're basically dead. Oh my god, dude. The Arcane Mage burst. Who flagged him? Was that you, Seaverick? Did Shed do something? What did Shed do? Kragman is going to be up next. Does everybody else see the balloon? Like, is that a toy or is that just like a pet? Is that balloon a toy or is that a pet? Because if it's a pet, I wonder if they end up seeing a Kragma try to go for the big Night Fae Boomkin. I thought this man was feral for some reason, but try to see if he can make that big old burst happen versus Seavark. A Seavark does dip behind the pillar, immediately seeing this burst come out and seeing immediately the incarnation, seeing the resolve trick come out. Gonna be a polymorph. Wait, how'd you get polyed? Gonna be our canister, gonna set up versus Kragma, potentially big damage. Kragma trying to see if he can Night Fae over. Barrage to follow. This is enough though. He's trying to go for another barrage. It looks like it's almost enough to take him out. Does get interrupted. Gonna be a quick roll, but Kragma does get himself a frenzy region, but still under a lot of pressure, still under a lot of trouble. It's gonna be massive barrages taking them down. What is the cooldown on those barrages? It looks like Seavark might be able to take down the seed pod with the arcane barrages. What is even going on? How did you get a polymer from the Boomy? Did it shift out and then didn't shift back into Boomy form immediately? Maybe it was like in bear form or cat form and then tried to shift with the cast, but that doesn't take you to Boomy form immediately. I was thinking with incarnation it was basically like your perma Boomy. I guess I'm wrong on that one. I guess I gotta learn, I gotta check. Gurns is gonna be up next. Try to see if it might be able to stand on with Seavark. So far, the duels have gone in direction of you walk out, you slam someone down, then somebody else from the other team walks out, slams you down, and so far it's been like dominoes falling over one by one, but so far Seavark has been able to stand up for more than one fall. He's been able to deal with some of these boys back to back, starting with the Paladin. Gonna be Gurns popping defensive immediately. Literally every defense in the world was used at the very beginning. Trinket together with the anti-magic zone. I guess mine is the AMS and IBF. So, you know what? Scratch back. Not every defensive. Looks like Seavark's going to back up out of it completely. Pop it and invis behind the pillar. Gurns did pop a trinket really early. Maybe that was a good... Maybe that'll end up being a good trinket. I've never seen such an aggressive trinket before. By Death Knight. A Seavark getting gripped in. Going to be a stun. Does have a blink for it. That's going to be a resolve trinket, giving them immunity to CC. Could potentially be maybe a stun out of this pet. It is going to be consumed into Resolve Arcane missiles into a big barrage. It's going to be a massive Arcane Sphere burning through the AMS very quickly. Gurns is actually... Oh, what the... I keep forgetting that he has the Execute Lego. I keep forgetting that as soon as these boys are at 30% health, they're dead. And Seavark just sweep the floor with these boys. After the whole team, the teams had a bit of a back and forth, and then Seavark came out and just showed everybody, you know what?